How are your Facebook ads doing? I mean, how are they really doing? Which headlines, images, videos, calls to actions, and descriptions are driving results? If you're like me, you're using Facebook Dynamic Creatives on your ads, which basically lets you give Facebook a set of potential creatives from videos to images with little text to images with moderate text, and it allows Facebook to dynamically pick the ad for each individual user it thinks will perform best. The only problem with this is if I look at their advertising platform, it's a little bit difficult to see which of these images and videos are performing best so I can optimize the creatives for later use. For example, this ad got me 12 signups, but I can't see which of the ads was responsible for most of the signups, and more importantly, I care about the cost per signup so I can optimize the creative to attract the right people who are going to sign up. So I've tried fiddling with more of these breakdowns and clicking this more menu and even these reports, but I can't seem to figure this out for the particular type of conversion, the website trial. So it's time to bring out the big guns and look at the official Facebook Marketing API. This is an API that lets me go and query my own advertising account and pull out all these metrics programmatically. And while a lot of large advertising shops and ad agencies may use this to handle multiple accounts, there's nothing stopping you from using this on your own ad account, no matter how small it is. You can check out the reporting API specifically just to get back basic insights from Facebook about how your ads are doing, and you can look at all these advanced options on how to slice and dice the ads on how you want to look at them based on your specific use case. I'm going to show you right now how to pull down your own advertising metrics from the Facebook Insights API so we can answer this question. Which of these dynamic creative assets are performing best? I'll put a link to this page below and let's just follow along. I'll show you how to get started. So first you need to create your own little Facebook app, and what's good is you don't have to worry about it being approved just to look at your own data, which makes sense. So I created my app here, and you go to the Marketing API. You can see my app is still in development, which means I don't have to submit it for review. I'm just using it to look at my own data, which Facebook is cool with. So to actually get your API token, you're going to need to use this. You go to the Tools section, and you can generate a new token here. So for our use case, I just want to do Read Insight, so I can read for the Marketing API, and then click here to get a token. Now you'll have a token below. It should be blacked out on my screen. Copy this and put it somewhere safe. It should last for maybe 30 to 60 days. You can always come back here and regenerate a new token anytime you need. Now let's do a little test drive. So I don't feel like using an SDK. I just want to use a raw curl command to access the API. So let's just copy their template here. And where it says API version, you have to replace this with V. The current version is, I believe, 6.0. You have to put the little V here, which I don't document anywhere. I figured that out on my own. And then here you put in your ad campaign ID. So if you scroll down, if I want to get them from the entire account, I can put in ACT underscore and then go back to my Facebook account. If I look in the URL, I'll see this thing where it says ACT equals and then a number. You could just copy that and then put it over here, and that's your account. You can also, if you look at their docs, you can substitute this with a campaign ID, ad set ID, or ad ID. We'll get those back in the response, or if you go and fiddle around with the different campaigns and ad sets and look at the URL, you can get those IDs there. Now I'm in my terminal, I put in my access token, and I'm going to run this to do a simple test. So you can see it worked. Facebook gave me back my account. There's my account, and here's my performance for, looks like the past week. I spent $32 on ads, and I got about almost 3 grand impressions. It's not a lot of information, right? To get more data back, you need to specify in your request more fields you want back from Facebook. So it's not exactly clear from this documentation, but if you click on this little link here called Fields and scroll down a bit until you get to this Fields table, you'll see all these fields that you can get back for your account. So for example, I can get back the ad name, the ad set name, and I can get back a lot of performance metrics is what I'm really interested in, like the clicks, the conversions, and what I care about are the cost per actions, and I can get granular actions like the cost per like, the cost per comment, the cost per link, and most importantly, the cost for starting a trial on my site. Now, as much as I'd love to fiddle around with curl or write some messy code to just understand how the API works, the basic inputs and outputs to it, I decided to build a Steve C Data API endpoint wrapper, which, full disclosure, I happen to own the Steve C Data platform, but it's free to just sign up for a free account and you can access this interface here, and it'll show you the exact command you can use. For example, you can put in the fields that you want or other inputs here, and it'll make the curl request a lot easier for you. Let's try that curl command again, but this time on the Steve C platform. So here I can just put in my inputs like the ad object ID, which is the account, or like I said, it can be a campaign, ad set, or ad, access token, Here under my list of fields, I put in an actual list of fields so I can get useful data back, like number of clicks, conversions, actions taken, likes, posts, shares, etc. And over here under this level parameter, it corresponds to the level of aggregation I get back. I want to get my results back by the more granular ad level, so I get the clicks, impressions, etc. by the dynamic ad. The default was getting my whole account back as one big object, which is not helpful. I can't really go down to the creative level. So let's run this here. If you hit direct, you'll see the curl command you could use, and it templatizes all these inputs for you, so you don't have to fiddle with writing curl commands all day. But I just want to run this on the platform for speed right now. So Steve C is going to go and make the request using my access token. You can see the raw JSON I got back. This looks similar to what curl did, but now I can see here my array has a little sub object for each of the individual ads in all of my campaigns and ad sets together. So I can look at this one, for example. I was going after technopreneurs is the name I called it. So over here I can see the spend. I can see this over the past 30 days roughly. And I can see the cost per action of my ads. So every time someone watched a video from one of my ads, cost me about 23 cents. Anytime someone clicked the link to my site, cost $2.50, etc. I can see a lot more here. And there's a lot of JSON for all the little bits of information I got back. But if I want to get it in a more tabular or consumable format, Steve C actually went ahead and parsed that JSON into CSV files I can just download here. So it automatically figured out what I'm most likely interested in, and it suggested that I want to download this collection. It went and flattened all that JSON up, and it found that there are 7 distinct ads I've been running, which is correct. I can see the breakdown here, the ad set name and the ad, and I can just download in Excel. So now I can see all my ads, my spend on each ad, and some conversion information, but this isn't by the actual dynamic creative like I wanted. To do that, there's this little breakdowns parameter here on the API, which corresponds to this little breakdowns report over here. So I can go and break it down by dynamic creative asset, which I did here to get all these little images that Facebook shuffles based on the user it's serving the ad to. And when I take a closer look at this breakdown, I can see the possible values I can give to the API are image asset. So I can break down the results by the actual image used in the dynamic creative. I can also do things like break it down by the call to action, break it down by the body, the description text, so I can test different types of copy. But right now, I think the most important copy to test is the actual image. So I'm going to click image asset, and because it's an array in the Facebook API, you have to enter the values like this. You have to put in basically array notation and quote the value. So I can do that here on the Steve C API under breakdowns and do image asset. And you can try other ones in here. So you can try different ones, impression device. You can use some of them together with each other, or sometimes it complains, so you can just try each one of them. You can't use image and video together yet. I think that's what the web UI is doing and why it doesn't work this way. For some reason, I can see the purchase conversions for videos, but I can't see the trial conversions for my images, so it may have something to do with that. So the way around this, I guess, glitch or feature in the ad UI is to just go straight to their Facebook marketing API. So I'm going to set my date preset to lifetime instead of the default 30 days ago, just so I get more data. And let's run this and see which of my ads are doing best. This time, the root data collection now has 25 rows instead of 7, because it did that breakdown by each image asset, generating more rows that I can look at. So let's check this out. And now when I get the data back, when I look at the ad name column, I can see the same value repeating 3 times over for many of these ads. That's because in each of those individual ads, I put in 3 separate images to let Facebook rotate and test. So for example, this 14-day trial remarketing one, I can see the spend for each of the 3 advertising creatives that Facebook selected. So if I scroll down here, I can actually see the image breakdown. So here it shows me the URL to the image, and here's what I named the image. So here's the one image that I used. Just put the URL in here, and that's one of my ads. So I can see the click-through rate for that image here, and then here's another image in that same advertisement, which did not perform as well. This was only 0.46% CTR, and the third one didn't even get any clicks. If I scroll to the left a little bit, I can check out the number of impressions. So I can see that Facebook didn't show the third ad as much. It showed the second ad more, which also had a lower CTR. And we can do confidence testing on these numbers and look at the impressions and click-through rate and see which creative drives the most clicks. But at the end of the day, clicks don't pay the bills. Conversions do. So unfortunately, in this sheet, Facebook doesn't return conversions. There's no conversion column anymore. So to get that, we actually have to look at action types to get around this little glitch we saw in the Facebook UI. So if I look over here, Steve C found a second collection from the raw JSON that corresponds to these action types. So Facebook actually will show me the cost per action type, And here is where it'll break down and include conversions for me, because when I include a breakdown, for some reason it stops showing conversions top level, but I can find conversions here if I'm a little bit sneaky, and if I look for something called off-site conversion. So I can see here I found an off-site conversion action. I spent $4 per conversion, and I can see a little bit more about this was a remarketing campaign, and I can see the ad name, and also I can find the image down here. So for quick analysis, I'm going to download this collection from SteveC as a CSV. I can then see the data shows me the action that was performed, like a like or share or a conversion, a sign up in my case. I can see how much it costs on average per action here in the left two columns. And then as I scroll to the right of the CSV, I start seeing more of the parent data. So here I actually see the advertisement, and it's repeated so many times because it's repeated once for each combination of action and cost per action, and also creative over here. So I can see I highlighted the two rows that correspond to the creatives that actually converted, and I can see the cost per conversion. So I can see one of my ads cost $4 for a sign up, and the creative was the picture I just showed you, the map of New York City. The other ad that performed well was this ad I called Good Ad 2. Looks like this. It's getting me one sign up for every $8 I spend. And sneakingly absent, I can't find the third ad that I have, this social media one. This ad is not resulting in conversions, people signing up. So let's check the impressions. Here's the first creative where I'm paying $4 for a conversion, and Facebook showed it about 2,000 times. And here's the second ad where I'm paying $8 a conversion. I can see Facebook showed it even more, about almost 5,000 times. So I'm pretty sure that this first image is a better image to use for my ad because it's getting me lower cost conversions. So I'm going to go and maybe stop running this one and start making more ads that look like the first one, the map. Now if I look at the third ad, which got 0 conversions, it only was shown 563 times. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad ad, it just means that Facebook thinks it's a bad ad because it didn't want to show it to anybody. So I'll probably stop running this. If Facebook doesn't think it's a good ad, then that's probably a sign I'm doing something not the best. So it looks like the best ad is this map one. So something about it is resonating with people, and it's not only getting them to click. Like I said, click-through rate doesn't pay the bills. Conversions do. So I'm going to probably start looking into making more real-life visualizations. I think sets this ad apart from this one is more abstract. So that's good insight to have, and now I can go back to Photoshop and think about what ads to make next. So there you go. That's how you can use the Facebook Marketing Insights Ads API extravaganza to get you hidden data or special data that you can't usually get from their web UI for your own specific needs, or if you just want more control over their standard reporting features. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if there are more specific reporting information you'd like to get back, or have you used this before? Are there more advanced features in the web UI that I'm totally missing that did not mean I had to go and build this custom integration for? Let me know your thoughts, and I'm happy to make more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and stay data-driven.